Driving? Me? What? Stay tuned. Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Sheila. Thank you so much for being here today. I truly do appreciate it. Well, you might be a little confused about the title of this video. It's about driving and me. What? Well, those of you that have been with me all along will understand, and anybody new won't. So I will tell you, I do not drive. I do have a license. I can drive, but I don't drive. I don't like to drive. I don't have a car. Now, of course, my husband has a truck, so anywhere I need to go, he takes me. But I do not drive. I've never liked to drive. I can't drive in traffic. I'm very claustrophobic, so if I'm on a highway or a road where there's cars beside me and in front of me and behind me, I just can't even breathe. I'm too trapped, and I don't like it. And I've never really liked to drive. I drove when I was younger, but only when I had to, and locally, like to the grocery store or a store. No long distance. I've never left the town I was in or anything like that. And I have no sense of direction at all. So because I don't like to drive, I never saw the need to have a car. For what reason? I had one when we first moved here to South Carolina. That was 7 years ago. My son had to drive it down for me because I rode with Dave, and there's no way I would drive a car, down 95. I mean, you couldn't catch me on an interstate. So he brought it down to me when we first moved here. And after a couple years and it just sitting in the garage and the battery dying for it not ever being driven, I just sent it back to him. I just said, forget it, I don't need it. I like to walk, I like to ride my bike, and I love to drive a golf cart. Well, to make a long story short, I'm going to start driving again. Oh, just saying the words kind of freaked me out. But I'm going to do it. And what happened was recently I did a video on my beloved Billy, my very best friend ever. And she passed away in the middle of May. Billy had a car that she loved and she drove when she could drive, and it was kept in her garage, mint condition, all the bells and whistles, things like that, things that don't interest me at all because I'm not interested in cars. Well, when she passed away, her son Bill came in from Chicago, and of course he was going to sell the house and sell the car. And because he has a business in Chicago, he couldn't be here very long. So he was here, I think, around 10 days. And of course, he listed the house and it sold immediately. And he didn't know what to do about the car. He didn't need it in Chicago. So he decided he was going to sell it. Well, a couple people were interested in it, but he didn't have the time because he had to get back to work. He didn't have the time to stay here and wait for people to get financing or think about whether they wanted to buy it or not. So he took it to the dealership and he got a appraisal on it, what the dealership would give him for it, and of course they would resell it for a much higher price. And Don't ask me why. It was one of those moments. I have had 3 in my life before, and this will be the 4th one, where I heard that inner voice say, buy it, get it. And it made no sense to me because I don't drive, and I don't even like to drive. So I talked to Dave about it, and of course he was surprised, like, you don't even drive. It'll just be a decoration in the garage. And I knew that, but I couldn't shake that feeling. And I think it's because it was Billy's. And it had special meaning. It's just another attachment to her. So anyhow, Dave said, I think we should get it, because if something happens to me, even though he's doing absolutely wonderfully, he does have advanced prostate cancer. So he said, in case something ever happens to me, or when it does, I know you'll never drive the truck because it's a big truck. And he said, you're going to have to learn and know how to get around. And just the fact that he knew it belonged to Billy, he just wanted me to have it. So we bought it from her son Bill. And it's been sitting in my garage. I think we got it maybe around May 27th. And it's been sitting in the garage like an ornament because I've had no desire to drive. Well, yesterday I drove for the first time by myself, and I just went to my dermatologist office, which I could walk to, and I usually go on my golf cart, so it wasn't far. It's right within my community, right outside the gate, so no highways or major roads. I think the speed limit on the road to get there is 25 or 30 miles an hour. But I did drive there, so I took my first trip driving, and Billy went with me because I have her picture in the car. So wherever I go, she's going with me. And she is giving me the encouragement like she always has in anything to do this, to learn to drive, to get some confidence and get out there and try it. So that's what I did, and I did good. I made it there and I made it back. Now, I don't know how to work anything. I never understood all those buttons. I like the old cars from years back when I was a teenager that my parents had, that you literally rolled down the windows and you had a gas pedal, a brake, and a horn, lights, and turn signals. That's it. Now everything's so fancy and all these buttons, they're just not for me. But anyhow, that's my story. And I would appreciate any prayers for encouragement because, you know, I have to force myself to do it. And I'll keep practicing. I'll just drive around my little community for a while. And then maybe I can venture out down the road, you know, for a mile or something. I have a Walmart a mile away. And, you know, eventually maybe I'll get there. So I'm going to take you out and show you the car. It's a beautiful car. It's Billy's car. But I just want you to see it, and then I'll come back. So here I am in this great big car that I know nothing about. I have all these seats back here, but they're all empty. But that's okay, because guess who I have with me? Right here. Billy. This is Billy's car, and wherever I go, Billy's going with me. Now this car has a bunch of buttons and gadgets and things that I know nothing about, But that's okay. I know where the brake is, and I know where the gas pedal is. That's all I need to know for now. Also, I have in here, in this glove box, I have this. This was Billy's, and her son Bill said Billy would have wanted me to have it. And on the back, it says, "Thy word is the lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path." And that is from Psalm 119, 105. So this will remain in the car, in this glove box, and will go with me also. Well, I can't say I'll be driving much because I'm sure I won't, but I really am going to try. I'm going to give it my best shot, and I'm just so very, very grateful to have this opportunity. I prayed about this decision because it didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. I had no desire to have a car. I have no desire to drive. But something was pulling at me and just telling me I needed to do it. And I knew where that pull was coming from. And when that happens, I listen. Well, now I'm going to leave you with an inside beauty tip. For my inside beauty tip today, I want to read something from Proverbs 3, 5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will direct your path straight. That says it all for me. You know, there have been 3 other times I mentioned earlier in my life that I made major decisions. Decisions that were totally out of character for me. Decisions that I would have never made. Not in a million years. I wouldn't even have considered it or entertained the thought. But I went with my gut. I went with that inner voice. I went where I was being led, even though I did not understand it at all. It made no sense to me. And they were 3 of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. Now this really makes no sense to me either, because as I said, I don't drive, I don't want to drive, I don't like to drive, I have no interest in it at all. But I am trusting in the Lord because I feel I was led to do this. I may not understand why, but I can't lean on my own understanding. I can't see the future. I don't know why. I'm just trusting in it. And wherever I go, I know he will be with me, and I know Billy will be with me, because it's Billy's car. Her picture is in there. I'm going to see her face every time I get in that car. And she's going on every trip I make. Thank you so much for being here today. I truly do appreciate it. And until we meet again, this is the old girl signing out. See ya.